Come, you masters of war. You that build all the guns, you that build the death planes, you that build all the bombs, you that hide behind walls, you that hide behind desks. We just want you to know we can see through your masks. You that never done nothing but build a destroy. Oh, you play with our world like it's your little toy. You put a gun in my head and you hide from my eyes, and you turn and run farther when the fast bullets fly. Like Judas of old, you lie and deceive. A world war can be won. You want me to believe, but I see through your eyes, and I see through your brain, like I see through the water that runs down my drain. You that fasten all the triggers for the others to fire, and you sit back and watch while the death toll gets high. You hide in your mission while young people's blood flows out of their bodies and is buried in the mud. You've thrown the worst fear that could ever be heard, the fear of being children into this world, for threatening my baby, unborn and unnamed. You ain't worth the blood that runs through your veins. How much do we know to talk out of turn? You might say that we're young, you might say we're unlearned, but there's one thing I know, though I'm younger than you, even Jesus would never forget what you do. Let me ask you one question. Is your money that good? Will it buy you forgiveness? Do you think that it would? Oh, I think where you find when your death takes its toll. All the money you made will never buy back your soul. And I hope that you die, and your death will come soon. I'll stand on your road in the pale afternoon, and I'll watch while you're lowered into your deathbed. stand over your grave till I'm sure that you're dead.
Bottom line, in my professional opinion, based on my years of experience, my study of airline accidents and incidents, it's my opinion that a Boeing 757 did not hit the Pentagon. There would be an abundance of wreckage, and that the official sources have not been able to produce the evidence of any wreckage. Large tail sections, indestructible landing gear, indestructible engines, wing spars, fuselage, seats, anything of the sort indicates to me that a 757 did not hit the Pentagon.
In relation to the Pentagon, it's quite obvious that no Boeing 757 hit the building. There are multiple lines of reasoning that support that conclusion, including, for example, the complete lack of massive debris of the kinds and character that would be expected from a 100-ton airliner with a 125-foot wingspan and a tail that stands 44 feet above the ground. The hit point was only about 10 feet high and 16 or 17 feet wide on the ground floor. You find unbroken windows, undamaged fence, a couple of automobiles. What you don't find is massive piles of aluminum debris. You don't find the wings. You don't find the seats, the bodies, the luggage, the tail. Not even the engines were recovered, indicating that no Boeing 757 hit the building.
You've got a hole that's no more than 10 foot high and about maybe 15 to 20 feet wide that we're expected to believe a multi-tonned 757 jetliner with a wingspan of 125 feet and a tail height of 44 feet, that's 4 stories, folks, somehow managed to squeeze through this one little bitty hole in the ground floor of the Pentagon.
Before the outer wall collapsed, which was about 45 minutes after initial impact, there was only one hole, about 14 to 16 feet. And supposedly the 757 completely penetrated this hole without leaving any indication of where the wings would have penetrated. Adjacent to this hole, the windows were completely intact, and you can tell by the firefighters' foam that was sprayed around the hole and sticking to the windows are completely intact, both adjacent where the wings should have penetrated and knocked the windows out, and also directly above the hole where the elevated tail section would have penetrated. The windows are completely intact.
I measured pieces of Soviet equipment from photographs. It was my job. I look at the hole in the Pentagon, and I look at the size of an airplane that was supposed to have hit the Pentagon, and I said, the plane does not fit in that hole. So what did hit the Pentagon? What hit it? Where is it? What's going on? I know from my experience that it would have been highly improbable that even a seasoned American test pilot, a military test pilot, could have flown a T-category aircraft like the 757 into the first floor of the Pentagon because of a thing called ground effect.
The official trajectory has this plane just skimming the ground at about 500 miles an hour as it impacts with a building on the ground floor. That turns out to be aerodynamically impossible. Even a small plane, such as a Cessna at full throttle, would accumulate a packet of compressed gas, which is there beneath the fuselage, that would make it impossible for it to get closer than 15 feet to the ground. Discussions with aeronautical engineers have convinced me that for a Boeing 757 at 500 miles an hour, it could not get closer than 60 feet to the ground. If the plane had been taking the official trajectory, its engines would have been making massive damage to the lawn. Wake turbulence would have been wrecking it. The lawn would have been a mess. Instead, the lawn is perfectly smooth, green and smooth, which turns out to be, ironically, a smoking gun at the Pentagon.
it's not obscene to show you what war really is. It's obscene to glamorize it like a John Wayne movie and not be honest. And so we're going to show you this video here. And believe me, this is nothing compared to some of the videos. This is the recipe for success. This is the 40,000 dead conservatively, most of them women and children. This is the carpet bombing and leveling of major cities and towns in Libya and foreign al-Qaeda forces coming in to the country. So I want to read this as I did last night, but then accompany it with the video. And I know a lot of families watch the show every night. If you do have children with you, you might want to have them turn away, or perhaps you should have them watch it so that when an Army recruiter comes to try to get them to be involved in war, they understand the truth. Look, if you're actually being attacked, you'll know it's a righteous war, and then it's got to happen. But these drones killing up to 200 people at a pop, and the Pentagon says it's worth it to kill 200 people if you kill one bad guy who they say is a bad guy. No judge, no jury. This is dehumanizing everybody. It's one thing to have war when somebody assaults you, and it's right there face to face. But this whole system of cowardly drones expanding, which they now say is going to be used against the American people, is incredible. So here's your Peace Prize winner. There he is right there with the Nobel Peace Prize. They're actually talking about giving him another one. It's all part of the psychological warfare where war is peace. A recipe for success. The grinning shill international terrorist president of the United States talks up the regime's atrocities on a late-night comedy show with the host audience and millions of people out in TV land going along with it. And he goes on to say, holy bleep. Yeah, remember Bush at that press dinner going, no weapons of destruction under here. No, none under there. And we cut in images of dead children. Well, we just cut in images. We're going to actually show you it happening here in a moment. And again, this tears my guts out having little toddlers. But you need to see it. You need to really, really wake up and look at it and take it in. That's where you're going to find your humanity. They want to just sell you all this is sexy and cool. It's not sexy. To me, Obama's recipe for success looks like and sounds like a child with the lower half of his face blown off. The child's horrifying screams emerge through a pulpy, gaping cavity where his mouth and jaw used to be. You shouldn't watch the video if you know what's good for you. But it reminds me of the words of Harold Pinter, and then we'll go to the clip. It never happened. Nothing ever happened. Even while it was happening, it wasn't happening. It didn't matter. It was of no interest. The crimes of the United States have been systematic, constant, vicious, remorseless, but very few people have actually talked about them. You have to hand it to America, that is the globalist controllers that hijacked us and use us in their name while we all think we're the good guys. It has exercised a quite clinical manipulation of power worldwide while masquerading as a force for universal good. It's a brilliant, even witty, highly successful act of hypnosis. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the recipe for success. You have a foreign proxy army, al-Qaeda in this case, come in. They start shooting police, blowing buildings up. The government fights back. And then you just bomb the entire infrastructure out, killing at least 40,000 people, bombing apartment buildings, you name it. And then you call it freedom and liberty because the Peace Prize guy's doing it. And then the very same global bankers that did all this come in and take control of the country and put them all in debt to rebuild the nation. So let's go to the clip.
I think it's obviously sends a strong message around the world to dictators that people long to be free, and they need to respect the human rights and the universal aspirations of people. We introduced the resolution in the United Nations that allowed us to protect civilians in Libya when Gaddafi was threatening to slaughter them. It was our folks in NATO who were helping to coordinate the NATO operation there. And the difference here is we were able to organize the international community. We were able to get the UN mandate for the operation. We were able to get Arab countries involved. And so there was never this sense that somehow we were unilaterally making a decision to take out somebody. Rather, it was the world community, and that's part of the reason why This whole thing only cost us $1 billion as opposed to $1 trillion. Not a single U.S. troop was on the ground. Not a single U.S. Troop was killed or injured. And I am both surprised and deeply humbled by the decision of the Nobel Committee. The Nobel Peace Prize has not just been used to honor specific achievement, it's also been used as a means to give momentum to a set of causes. And that is why I will accept this award as a call to action, a call for all nations to confront the common challenges of the 21st century.
War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength.